Every day, millions of people make decisions that shape their lives and communities. Decisions as significant as signing a mortgage, or as routine as purchasing a new household appliance. At the core of each of these transactions lies a principle as old as civilization itself: consent. But not just any consent, consent that is both competent and informed. This is the foundation of rational law, a framework that recognizes the sanctity of personal agency and the necessity of truth in human dealings. Consent, to have any legal or ethical weight, must be given freely, with a clear understanding of the facts that matter. In the modern world, this principle is most often challenged, not in grand legal battles, but in the quiet, everyday act of buying products. Consider the devices and machines we rely on: cars, refrigerators, smartphones, laptops, and more. These are not just purchases. They are investments, often expected to endure, to serve, to be repaired when the inevitable wear and tear of life takes its toll. Yet, beneath the glossy advertising and reassuring warranties, a different reality lurks, one where planned obsolescence and restricted repairability have become the norm. Too often, consumers discover only after the fact that the very products they bought in good faith were designed to be discarded, not maintained. Rational law holds that this is not simply unfortunate, it is unethical. At the heart of every legitimate transaction is the right to know. When a manufacturer withholds crucial information about how long spare parts will be available, whether repairs can be made by the owner or by third parties, or when software support will end, they do more than inconvenience their customers. They undermine the very consent that makes the transaction valid. If a person cannot know, at the time of purchase, whether their expensive device will become an expensive paperweight after just a few years, then their agreement is, in truth, an illusion. Imagine approaching a store to buy a new washing machine. You ask about its durability, and the salesperson assures you that it is built to last. But what you are not told is that after 3 years, the manufacturer will stop producing the circuit board it depends on. If it fails, your only option will be to buy a new machine. Even if this fact is buried in fine print, hidden behind vague warranty language, the law of reason recognizes this as a failure to disclose material information. In rational law, the omission of such facts is not a minor oversight. It is a substantive deception. To address this, rational law requires sellers to disclose, in clear and accessible terms, the support lifespan of every product. This means specifying, before purchase, how many years replacement parts will be available, whether repair manuals and diagnostic tools can be accessed, and if third-party repairs are permitted or restricted. It means stating how long software updates will continue and whether any functions will degrade or cease altogether if updates stop. If the device depends on remote servers to function, servers that may someday be shut down, this too must be disclosed. Only with this information can a buyer make a genuinely informed decision. This requirement strikes at the heart of planned obsolescence, a business strategy that has become disturbingly common in the consumer market. Designed to encourage repeat purchases by making products difficult or impossible to repair, planned obsolescence is, at its core, a systemic violation of informed consent. Few buyers would knowingly purchase an expensive device if they understood it was engineered to become obsolete or unserviceable long before its physical lifespan expired. Yet this is precisely the scenario many face, deceived not by outright lies, but by the calculated withholding of truth. Legal systems grounded in rational law reject the notion that consent obtained through omission is valid. If a buyer's expectations of durability and repairability are manipulated, if a product is made to look robust, marketed as long-lasting, but is in fact held together with fragile plastic gears or sealed shut with proprietary screws, then the seller has violated the buyer's trust. Even when warranty documents attempt to limit liability through fine print or post-purchase notifications, they do not satisfy the standard of informed consent. True consent must be active, not passive, explicit, not implicit, reasonable, not buried in legal jargon or hidden in obscurity. The right to repair, then, emerges naturally from the principles of rational law. Ownership implies agency, the right to use, maintain, and modify one's property. Barriers that prevent owners from repairing their own devices can only be justified if the owner has knowingly and freely agreed to them, and only if those barriers are genuinely necessary to protect others from harm. Claims about protecting trade secrets or user safety cannot override the fundamental right to truthful information. If a product is unsafe to repair, this must be stated. If there are legitimate reasons for restricting repairs, they must be explained and consented to by the buyer, not imposed unilaterally after the fact. In a system where the public interest is managed by benefit trusts, rather than monopolistic government agencies, the enforcement of these standards becomes both dynamic and competitive. Independent and competing organizations can audit manufacturers, track product lifespans, and rate companies according to their commitment to repairability and transparency. Imagine a world where every product comes with a standardized disclosure, like a nutrition label for ethics, detailing not just its features, but its support timeline, repairability, and openness to third-party service. Consumers can make choices based on truth, not marketing spin, and trust becomes a currency as valuable as any warranty. Manufacturers still retain the freedom to design and sell disposable or short-lived products, so long as they label them honestly and price them accordingly. The key is that consumers must know what they are buying. A kitchen gadget meant to last a season should not be sold as a family heirloom. A premium smartphone should not become obsolete by design after just a few years. When buyers are given the facts, the market can reward ethical business practices and punish deception, not through litigation alone, but through the choices of empowered consumers. Ultimately, the transition to rational law in commerce is not just about preventing harm or punishing wrongdoing. It is about cultivating a culture of honesty, responsibility, and mutual respect. As transparency becomes standard, manufacturers will compete to offer better support, longer-lasting products, and greater repairability, not because they are forced to, but because it is what the market, now informed and discerning, demands. In this world, the dignity of each buyer is upheld, and the true power of consent, informed and competent, shapes not only our purchases, but the very fabric of our economy and society.